Well, that's right, Naledi. Really surprising this morning. The expectation was that a new witness will take the stand. You would recall that on Friday, Senzo Meyiwa's best friend, Tumelo Madlala, had concluded on the stand. We were expecting a new witness this morning, and there seemed to have been some indications about the possibility that that might have been somebody who was also inside the house at the time that Senzo Meyiwa was killed. But then, just before proceedings started, we got wind of the fact that there is new legal counsel that will also be joining the proceedings. And then we understood that there was new legal counsel that would now represent accused number 1 and 2, and that Titi Tabane would continue with his representation of accused 3 and 4. This was then confirmed by the court. This simply means now that this matter will only get to sit on the 2nd of May next year. So you would recall there had been many calls by the presiding judge in this particular matter, concerns about delays in the trial relating to the death of Senzo Meyiwa. And what we understand is that Sipho Ramosepele, who is now the new legal counsel for accused 1 and 2, had received a brief on Thursday pertaining to a call that we understand he'd received from the parent of accused number 1. That's what we heard in court. He will now represent accused 1 and 2. Titi Tabane now, his services have been terminated. He will only represent accused number 3 and 4. And Advocate Zandile Mshololo continues with accused number 5. Now, this means that the delays in this case, of which the Meyiwa family has really been hoping would reach some kind of finalization, that has been delayed now. And perhaps over the next coming days, we're probably going to hear commentary about how justice is delayed or denied in this instance for the Meyiwa family, because this matter had been sat down until the 2nd of December. That was the last day we were due to sit in this particular case before we return next year. Now, this means that the trial itself has come to a complete halt, because obviously Sipho Ramosepele would need to familiarize himself with the docket and obviously get transcripts of the proceedings that have taken place thus far. Sipho Ramosepele joins me now. He is the new legal counsel for accused 1 and 2. So we really appreciate your time. We know that you cannot speak much about the case at this particular time. Confirmation inside court indeed that you are taking over the representation of accused 1 and 2?
Indeed, so we have received instructions to come and assist with respect to accused 1 and 2 on Thursday, and will be getting disclosure from the state, preparing for our next appearance.
And obviously, this means, as we heard inside court, you'd need to familiarize yourself with the contents of the docket, as well as the transcripts of what has taken place in this case. Obviously, your available date is only next year. And do you think that's enough time for you to familiarize yourself with the case? And obviously, because I think the presiding judge and everyone concerned, individuals in this particular case, have been concerned about, the delays in this matter, given that this incident took back in 2014. There is huge public interest. And perhaps I think there'd even be criticism now about, justice delayed is justice denied, in particular for the family that lost their loved one.
The rigors of a trial like this inevitably will lead to delays. But from my side, beginning of May next year, we'll be ready to proceed. The time given for me to familiarize myself with the case and to prepare is adequate.
There's also a contentious issue. We recall when Titi Tabane had brought a bail application for accused number 2. We also saw Bongani Ntanzi stand up in court a few moments ago and basically say there's no bad blood between himself and Titi Tabane. His services have been terminated. And there's the outstanding issue of his bail. Will you be reapplying for bail in this instance, or will you be waiting for the outcome of what's already been heard? How is that going to pan out?
I think the proper approach will be to wait for the outcome of that bail application. I don't have any instructions pertaining to bail for accused number 2. That was the instruction for the erstwhile attorney.
So at this particular point, no application for bail based on the fact that you are the new legal representative for accused number 2.
Indeed so. Remember, the bail already has concluded. They are just waiting for the outcome for that application. So on my side, it's got nothing to do with me.
And also with regard to, I'm sure, while you have received that brief, you come onto this case at a time where I think one of, if I may, in the media we often say bombshells that are dropped in court. Your client, who you now represent, Bongani Ntanzi, has been pointed out as, one of the people that the witness who just concluded, Tumelo Madlala, says he was inside the house at the time that Senzo Meyiwa was killed. You come into this trial, I know you cannot speak enough or speak on that at all, but you come into this trial at a time where your client, a client who you've now taken on, has been pointed out inside this court. And Tumelo Madlala says he is the one that was inside the house, or in fact was pinned against the wall by Senzo Meyiwa on the day that he was shot dead. Your thoughts on that, perhaps, because I know obviously you can't opine too much.
I can't share thoughts on that. That's a matter that we'll take with further witnesses in this case.
All right. Thank you very much, Sipho Ramosepele, who's the new legal representative. Thank you very much, sir. New legal representative for accused 1 and 2. The services of TT Tobane have been terminated, and I'm going to see if I can't bring in TT Tobane. I'm going to beg with the studio for just a moment. If we can just run over just a little bit, we'll try to speak to TT Tobane, who is the legal representative who will now only represent accused number 3 to 4 in this particular matter. His services have been terminated, and we understand that he will now only represent accused number. Titi Tobane, just very quickly. Titi Tobane, we are live on the SABC News channel. Very quickly, I know we don't have time. Mr. Titi Tobane, just this way, please. Sir, have you been fired? Let's start there. Have you been fired by accused 1 and 2?
I'm not saying, I can't say I'm being fired, but the clients who are referred as accused herein, they have the right to make a choice. A wise man always changes their mind. Who knows, maybe when we come back in May, they might change their mind again and say, no, we want this attorney A or attorney B. So basically, it's not I don't feel bad about it. It is their right. Remember, attorneys are being instructed by clients, but there's ethics to be followed. Yeah. It was better if the attorney who took the mandate inform us in advance.
Do you feel let down? Because it seems like you only heard in court this morning that your services had been terminated. You were just as surprised as the media was that you were no longer representing accused number 1 and 2.
Well, it is expected. It's expected. It's part of the profession. It happens a lot in the profession because we keep on reiterating that this is not civil procedure where you submit a formal notice of withdrawal as attorneys of record. This is criminal procedure. A lot of the evidence is given orally, unlike civil procedure where a lot of it is written. So whenever you take on an instruction, we are not employees who take on a job where we can be fired. We take on instructions. And when the instructions end, that's where our role, the role which we're playing in the client's life, also end. So our roles as legal practitioners on record have been cancelled.
Yes. We depend on the client's instructions. That is Ms. Hadebe. Yes. We're working together on the case.
Yes, indeed. You also were one of those, legal counsel that had words to say about you don't want constant postponements in this matter. You want to reach finality in it. Are you disappointed that we've actually reached this turn now? Because one of your clients, previous clients, Bongani Ntanzi, had also gone through you in his application for bail, in which we've not yet received an outcome on that particular matter. You've always said you want this matter to reach finality. We've hit a bit of a brick wall here today. Yes,
on the issue of the bail, we are no more going to address the issue of bail because our mandate is being terminated. However, I can say that we're still waiting. He is still waiting for the outcome of the bail. And furthermore, the most important thing is that the matter which was it was postponed to a further date. That dates were there already. Today we're going to run for 2 weeks, and still we're going to postpone to those dates. Today was just confirmation of those dates. They were there anyway.
Very, very quickly, we're running out of time. I beg for our studio to bear with us. Did this have anything to do with the fact that you also asked for crowdfunding? You said that the issue of money, because of the nature of this trial, had been a problem. A couple of weeks ago, of course, you said that you're calling on the public to crowdfund because of the nature of this case.
Unfortunately, we were not informed of the reasons why the clients decided to not give us further instructions, but to remove us as legal representatives on record. So we are actually in the same boat as you, where the best person to answer that question would be accused number 1 and 2. So we are unfortunately not in a position to be able to answer that question, but we are professionals, and as professionals, we are in court almost every day of our lives. These are proceedings which we are used to, and we accept the decision which the clients have taken, and the clients' interests are always paramount to everything else, and we really pray and we hope that the decision which they took will work out to the best of their interests. And then in connection with the bail, we unfortunately don't have any more instructions to proceed with the bail. So we feel the best person to ask about the question of bail is the new legal practitioner on record, whom we hope we will work very well with, because we are all representing accused.
Ms. Khatebe, thank you very much. Titi Tabane, thank you very much. We'll see you again next year, hey?
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much indeed. Titi Tabane as well as Ms. Khatebe. They've been working together. Their services now been terminated with respect to accused 1 and 2. Sipho Ramusipile, who I spoke to a few moments ago, will now be taking on the defense for accused 1 and 2. The case now being postponed to May next year to allow him to familiarize himself with the docket as well as the transcripts of this matter since it started. So I don't think, certainly, while of course legally this is what is supposed to happen if there's new legal counsel that has been brought on board, but certainly this is something that the Meyiwa family, I think, is not going to be very happy about, because they've been saying all they want at the end of the day is to know what really happened on the day that Senzo Meyiwa was killed. So obviously the new witness now will take the stand in May next year.